Funny. Hello. What stream is this? 53. All right, welcome to the 53rd Ask Me Anything live stream. If I sound kind of messed up, it's because I am sick. It's going to be hard to breathe through my nose and do the stream at the same time, but we'll try. So if you missed the live portion of the stream and you want to check out the next one, I try to do these live streams at least once a week on the weekend. If not on Saturday, then I'll definitely try on Sunday at around the same 11 or 12 Eastern Standard Time. I've been doing these a little bit earlier recently. Before I always start at 12, but I figured it's a little bit better if I get these streams started earlier on a Saturday so I can, or on a Sunday, so I can have more time the rest of the day to do stuff. So we'll give people some time. Hopefully we get some good questions today, get a good stream going. And if you're new to the stream, consider subscribing. Thanks for stopping by. The whole purpose of these live streams is to just mainly talk about self-improvement ideas, share some thoughts and concepts that I've been thinking a lot about recently, and also give the subscribers a chance to ask me any questions, which is the whole portion of the AMA section. And I say this a lot in every stream, but I love connecting with certain creators that do live streams, and something about that is always super enjoyable, and I always wish more creators did it. And so this was sort of like a promise that I made to myself, that if I ever took this content creation stuff seriously, that I would consider doing live streaming, because it's something, I guess it's not scary, but it comes with a lot of anxiety. I guess you would say that'd probably be the best word. Hey, Ken Smith, what's up, man? Just wanted to take a second to say hi and have a good day. Yeah, you too, Ken. Enjoy the nice spring weather, or it's more like summer actually. But yeah, enjoy your Sunday, bro. Thanks for always commenting on the videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. So I titled this stream "Fight Your Demons" because this was a concept that I was thinking a lot about this past week. And it relates to adversity. And I think this is something that pretty much every human being in the entire world goes through at one point or another. This could be facing some type of adversity in school, in a job, on a sports team, with your family, friends, or whatever you're doing in life. And adversity is an interesting concept because generally in society, people are always seeking comfort, which obviously I think is a mistake. That we're always trying to find the most comfortable jobs, take the path of least resistance, and just seek comfort over displeasure. And I think this is a mistake because it prevents the adaptation process to growth. And that is what the whole self-improvement niche is about. It's about embracing things like adversity, taking the path of most resistance, and overcoming the difficult task. That is what makes you grow as an individual at the end of the day. And it took me an extremely long time to figure this out, surprisingly, because I don't think any teacher ever taught this idea of adversity and overcoming these obstacles in life, or fighting your demons. Oh man, this is gonna be a stream of a lot of coughing. I apologize in advance. So anyways, when I got into all this self-improvement stuff, This was a very simple idea that I sort of came across. And this was really prevalent in working out and fitness, where you don't want to be doing exercises that are too comfortable, they're too easy, they're not challenging you enough, because then it doesn't stimulate muscle growth. So this is a fairly well-known concept in the gym world or bodybuilding world. And they talk about this one term called progressive overload, where every week you want to do a little bit extra. You want to do one more rep. You want to do one more set, or add a little bit more weight to the bar. And this stimulates the adaptation process in the body to grow and get stronger. And what's very interesting is that this concept also applies to your mind. And you can build up this interesting level of mental fortitude and mental toughness by, again, embracing adversity and overcoming difficult tasks. And this is what I've sort of been seeking in the beginning of this whole YouTube channel. It was like, I'm not very good with cameras. I'm not very good at editing. I'm not very good at storytelling or speaking. And these are all things that brought me a certain level of anxiety, because it's not easy, right? When you're starting off something new, especially like YouTube, where you're putting yourself out there to the world, it can be very tough and difficult. However, if I didn't embrace those challenges, then I never would have improved at all as a content creator. And of course, I'm not perfect. I do make tons of mistakes with my speech. I could definitely try to be more charismatic, or try to be more enthusiastic with the way I tell stories or record videos. Like, there's so many things that you can improve, but you'll never get anywhere unless you're willing to face those adversities and fight your demons, overcome the anxieties you have that is brought up when you try new things. And even today, right now, I feel like shit, kind of sick, nose is all stuffy, it's hard to breathe, I have a sore throat. Like, there's so many excuses that I could use for why I should just skip today's live stream. Like, there's a plethora of excuses that I could use. However, you have to fight this mindset, because your brain is very smart. And I noticed this early on with the YouTube channel. It was that whenever there was a little bit of doubt in my journey, my brain always wanted me to quit. It was like it was trying to convince me to give up on the channel, or give up on this self-improvement journey, or give up on editing, or give up on videography, because it's just trying to protect me from failure. And this is very tough to fight against, because your brain is very, very convincing. It's extremely convincing and influential. And what I did was I sort of just said no. Like, I didn't let it take control of my life. I didn't let it take control of the actions that I was going to take. And I made the choice that no matter what happens with the channel or the self-improvement journey, I am going to continually try to fight resistance, continually try to grow and improve. And this is way easier said than done. Like, I know, like, what I'm saying sounds oversimplistic, and it's so hard to put it into words. Like, and it's funny because people can give you all this advice, right? But I honestly believe that a lot of people, you have to kind of go through it in real time, and that's when you really learn to adapt and grow. And so when I was finally making some progress and I was feeling a little motivated, I was building up that level of success and momentum, and it feels good, right? You get that feedback loop, that dopamine hit, where you see results in real time. You see the growth, you see the improvement. And that feeling is exhilarating, but it's fleeting at the same time. And you go through these waves of peaks and valleys, ups and downs, where, you know, something might work out one week and you're on top of the world. You feel amazing. You feel great. And it's incredibly easy to stay motivated and disciplined when everything is going right for you. It's so easy. It's so simple. When you're winning, when you're happy, when you're making money, when everything's going great, your health is good, business is good, friends, family, like when everything is in a happy place, it's so incredibly easy to stay consistent, motivated, and disciplined. But it's the times when everything is going bad, that's when you really need the discipline to stay motivated and to keep like a positive mindset. That's the hardest. And I've had those days. I've had so many days where, you know, I put like 60, 70 hours into a video, gets like no views, and I was like just devastated. I was crushed. And I would doubt myself. I would think like, you know, what am I doing? Putting all this work, time, and effort into something that's yielding no results. I'm just wasting my time. I could be doing something more productive. And that's the moment when you really need the strong mindset. And so the interesting part about this too is there is no ending. Like, it may seem that I have a lot of things figured out. It may seem that I am extremely disciplined and motivated and inspired to keep continuing on this journey. But I still have those days, I still have those setbacks where I'm doubting myself. I lack confidence. You lack belief. It's as if you struggle to focus or maintain any level of energy or enthusiasm with your work. I still have those days, like they come and they go. But the thing is, you have to fight those days. Just like you have to fight your demons, you have to fight your anxieties, and you have to fight your addictions. You always have to fight back. And I think that is extremely important to the self-improvement mindset, is that the finish line, it's forever moving. Like the goalposts, that checkered flag, it keeps getting further and further away as you progress. And I don't really think there is any day or month or year when you say you're done. You've mastered self-improvement. You made it. You finished. That may seem kind of bleak because it's almost as if you're on a journey that has no end. You're just on a treadmill for the rest of your life. And that can be dark and morbid and depressing at times, you know, doing something that has no end. Maybe you feel like you're lacking purpose. Like, what's the whole point of all this stuff? But the real beauty and reward of this whole journey is the progress you make, the moment. And I try to take it in stride, right? Every little milestone you hit, you set a new milestone. Every mountain you climb, you set out a new mountain, a new goal. And throughout the journey, just being happy with the progress, seeing the results. And that is what is rewarding for me, is the growth in the moment. And it's a tough thing to kind of accept because in everyday life, there's always like an end goal, right? There is a specific job that you want to get. There is a 4-year degree that you want to get from university. There is a girl you want to ask out. There is a concert you want to go to. There is a country you want to visit. And on all those goals you have, there is an actual conclusion to them. You know, you get the corporate job in the tall 45 floor building. You know, that has an end date. You go to the concert of your favorite band, or you visit this country that you have like you've wanted to go to for years and years for your dream vacation. And all those goals that have end dates, they're sort of funny because once you achieve them, that happiness, it sort of just fades away. And I really notice this with materialistic type goals. Like when you want a brand new pair of shoes or an Xbox or a new car. Like when you really, really want it, leading up to that moment, there's all this excitement. But once you get the actual possession, over time, it's just like anything else. It's just a car. It's just a pair of shoes. You know, it sort of like loses its meaning and it loses its value. And so I kind of think about it in the sense of video games, for example. When I used to play a lot of video games, there was always this dream of getting to the end boss and beating the game, completing the game, winning the game. And that you always have this belief that once I get there, that is what is going to bring me happiness because I put in all this work into this game, leveling up my character, getting all this gear and experience and gold or whatever currency there is. And then once you actually beat the game or kill the end boss, that dopamine hit and that brief period of happiness, it's very short-lived. It doesn't last very long. And then you realize that the best part of the game was the actual leveling up process, like the progression of your character. That was actually the most fun. And so I try to apply that same concept to my life whenever I have these periods of doubt or whenever I'm just like sort of struggling. Well, I gotta like wipe my nose. Oh. So this is a perfect example. So right now, today is a struggle. I have like super allergies and sickness. Just like feel like shit. However, I think it's also important for me to sort of push through, especially with like the YouTube channel, this stream, is because there's going to be days like this where not everything is perfect. You're going to have low energy. You're not going to feel motivated. And there's something important to me about sort of pushing through these situations. Oh, David, what's up, dude? What's going on? Finishing a game is like completing a book. What are you up to today? Reading through the story and you feel happy that you read the whole thing. Oh, David, are you coming down in May? Because Kelly's coming over again, right? May, is it 13th or 14th? Chores? Chores, bro. Trust me, I know, cleaning the house and all that stuff. Not me, I'm too busy with work. Oh, okay. Oh, damn, that sucks. Well, next time you come over, we should do a podcast or something. The the setup is finally done. I had one guy come over. I think it was like the week after you left. We did a podcast. Yo, Mr. Anti-Gambler. Hello, brother. I'm tuned in just on the highway, man. Have a great stream. Hey, bro. Concentrate on driving. You're driving right now? Yeah, this is I'm struggling. This is a rough stream. I feel awful. But yeah. Sure, setup works nice. Yeah, it's so much fun. Because I've been doing the podcasts in like the Zoom, like the Zoom calls, right? The problem with the Zoom, it has this like latency where you can't have a real conversation. When you have a real conversation with someone, there's like a back and forth. It's like I may ask a question, you have an answer, then I'll talk and you talk. There's like a flow. There's like a rhythm to a real conversation. And when I do these like online podcasts, the flow is all weird. It's almost as if you take turns ranting. So like I'll rant and the other person will rant, and then there's like this weird, like the back and forth. There's like these huge gaps in between, and it doesn't feel like a real conversation. It's close, but it's not perfect. And then when I had the live podcast here, it was so cool because you can, like, I can see the body language of someone, right? And you can sort of like feed off their energy, feed off their body language. There's all these like very interesting subtleties that like I never really noticed because I do everything online, right? And then when I finally did a podcast like face to face, it was super interesting. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, exactly. The delay, like the latency. It's like you say something, like when you say something into the mic, the other person, they hear it in like half a second later, or sometimes even more. And it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but now I know why so many podcasts are just sort of done in person. The only part that was challenging was managing all the cameras. That was hard because I had to manage my audio and my guest audio, and then also make sure the cameras were recording and make sure there was good lighting as well. Like, and one of the cameras, the battery died like an hour in or something like that. So there's a lot going on. So that part I definitely need to learn and try to figure out how to be more efficient. Because what I did was we sat down to hit record on the audio recorder. Then I got up, made sure all the lights were on, hit record on both cameras at the same, like it was a disaster. I'm sure there has to be like some better way to do it. I don't know. You got a macro pad? What's a macro pad? I don't know what that is. Macro pad? Oh, a thing with buttons? Oh, like those, what's that company name? Elgato, like those stream decks? Like the thing I have an audio recorder. I don't know if you can see it. Like, I better leave it. So I have this like recorder thing. It shows me like I can control the audio levels and stuff like that. But for the cameras, I don't have anything. I know there's like these wireless like remote controllers, like for a television you can use to record with the cameras. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I'm not sure. Because I've seen streamers with those Elgato stream deck things, but I never really understood what they did. What's up? Oh, how do I say your name, bro? Yaya Hasnawi? Oh, man. Sorry, brother. I butchered your name. I'm terrible at pronunciations. Hello, man. I just sending this message to tell you that I stopped gambling addiction, and your videos helped me to find my triggers, and I understood the rush of gambling. Thank you, man. Hey, no problem, bro. I'm glad that any of my videos could help anyone in any way. It's always nice to hear the feedback that I get from you guys. The gambling stuff, it just keeps like growing. Like it's the one topic where I get so much feedback from you guys. It's interesting. The only issue that I have is that I don't want to make my entire channel about poker and gambling, because that was sort of like a part of my past that I'm not in that world anymore. Like that was something that's sort of long gone. But I do believe there is some value in the crazy stories that I could share. And I'm thinking maybe just do one every month, because I've seen so much wild stuff at the casino. It's just like, here's the thing. It's not a healthy environment to be in, and you're around all this craziness and wild people. But being around wild people produces very entertaining stories and interesting memories. So it's interesting. Free crypto? What's going on? Hearing people get free crypto. Left you some comments in your videos. It's the opposite of mourning over losses. But yeah, thanks for posting your videos for those who need it. Have you been to ICE in London in February? It's a huge event where you see the gambling industry at its finest. These guys count only numbers, not people, but it's what it is. ICE? What is that? ICE. Gaming enthusiasts? Never heard of it. Oh, it looks wild. It's like a convention. Oh, going back to the gambling thing. You know what's interesting? Today I saw a commercial talking about in Canada, I think, was it Canada or the US? Or maybe it's both. I can't remember which, but let's just say Canada or the US. They were talking about how they're going to make it illegal for pro athletes, celebrities, and influencers to advertise for online sports betting. So I think the idea is that because, like, take for example, like, what's a super impactful retired sports athlete? Let's say Tom Brady. Well, actually, Tom Brady was part of the whole FTX thing, which is wild too. But let's just use Tom Brady, for example. So super well-known, influential NFL quarterback that has tons of influence. And whenever he makes some type of social media post or promotes some type of brand or product, there is a certain percentage of people that will buy the product or be influenced by his sponsorship that he's doing. And what lawmakers are talking about is that they don't want people to be influenced by these type of athletes to join sports betting websites, because then it sort of fuels this gambling addiction that they could fall into. And I found that very interesting. And GSP, yeah, GSP is a great one. So for like the UFC, like imagine if George St. Pierre was like, hey, join this Canadian sports betting website and I'll give you $50 for free on sign up, and you can bet on every UFC fight, and whenever there's like a championship match, you can get you know what I mean? Like if he promotes like a sports betting website specifically for MMA fights, there are a certain number of people who are massive fans of George St. Pierre, especially in Canada, because he's the greatest Canadian mixed martial arts fighter of all time. Like I can't even think of anyone who's even close to GSP. And there's going to be a certain number of people who will be influenced by that brand deal or sponsorship that he's doing, or even commercial. And so that might cause an influx of people to jump on these gambling websites who might not be financially secure, and all of a sudden they're betting their money on UFC fights. And so I could see how that's problematic, especially if you're talking about people that are a lot younger, that might not have disposable income to blow on a gambling website. And what if they get addicted to something like that? Then they could ruin their future, right? Yeah, GSP is a great example for Canadians. Like even for myself, I love George St. Pierre. He was my favorite UFC fighter by far. Just the way he carried himself, the honor he had, the discipline. He was just everything that he represented. The way that he did striking and even wrestling. He actually incorporated a lot of wrestling into his game. Even though he didn't really finish too many people. But still, just everything about the way he carried himself. He was a great ambassador for the sport. And so he'd be extremely influential for young Canadian minds, right? To join a sports betting website to bet on UFC fights. And the same could be said for I'm sure there's tons of NHL players too that would apply to Canada as well. NBA players, soccer players. Like the list is endless. La Liga? That's soccer, right? In Spain, already banned players wearing shirts with gambling logos. Now the UK is doing the same with the Premier League. It's not enough, but it's helpful. Did post a video. Okay, that's good. So, that's interesting. So in soccer, see, I'm not very familiar with soccer at all. The only soccer I watch is like the World Cup and like the Euro Cup. I've heard of the Premier League. I'm guessing that's where like all the big name players play, right? So their jerseys, they don't have gambling logos. That's interesting. Because the NBA just added logos to their jerseys a couple years ago, but they were like Nike, Adidas, and like these very fringe companies. I think not really related to sports at all. But that's interesting. Sorry guys, I need to blow my nose. I'm all stuffed up. Forrest, what's up, Forrest? Are you sick? Yeah, I'm down and out today. Super low energy. I can't breathe through my nose. I'm all stuffy. I was sick the past couple days, and then also got hit with like bad allergies from spring. So yeah, I'm really struggling right now. Excuse me, sorry. The audio is probably terrible. But yeah, I try to not give in to excuses because my mind was like, oh, you don't need to stream today. No one's going to want to hear your stuffy voice. You could just skip it, do it next week, blow it off, do something else. And I don't like that mindset because then it will bleed into my life for other things. Like, oh, you don't have to clean your room or organize your desk today. Just blow it off till later. Oh, you don't have to get that oil change or new tires for your car. Blow it off until later. Like that mindset of just procrastinating because you have a valid excuse to not do something. I think it's important to fight that every once in a while when you can. So yeah, that's why I sound like shit. But thanks for coming by, Forrest. Japan is legalizing gambling and opening their first casino on Grand Island. Yeah, I heard about that. That's so the idea is the idea is interesting. Is that Japan wants to incentivize tourism so that tourists will more likely want to visit Japan as they now have another form of recreational entertainment by going to the casino. So that's interesting. Yeah, Japan is super serious. So when I went to Japan a couple of years ago, they're super strict with drugs and even like tattoos. I think there was a onsen, one of those Japanese spas, where we were planning on going to one, but I think we didn't have enough time in the day. We sort of missed out on it. It was one thing we wanted to do. But there was a bunch of onsens where you can't go in if you have any tattoos. And I think it's sort of related to the Yakuza or like the gang activity in Japan. So they're extremely strict with a lot of that stuff. And so when they announced that they're opening a casino, I was extremely surprised because they've been anti-gambling for forever, for like as long as I can remember. Like that wasn't a thing. Like if you're a Japanese and you wanted to gamble, you would normally have to go to Macau in China, which is the biggest casino city in the entire world. It's like Vegas on steroids, which is how people have explained it to me who have been there. So I find it interesting that all of a sudden now, like what changed? I wonder what changed. In the UK, it would take effect only 2 to 3 years from now, but it's the typical UK. They decide something that would take effect only, yeah. Canada has a little bit of that as well. We decide to do something, and it's like, yeah, we'll do this, but then it has to go through all these like bureaucratic pipelines for approval, and it just gets all clunky and messed up, and all these people have to put their dirty paws on whatever bill that's being passed. Yeah, legislation is also pretty slow at times here too. Hello, I found your channel randomly as I was struggling with the purpose of my life. Your videos help me find a trace? How do I say it? Man, Altruix? Altruix. Thanks, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Glad that the video helped. The reason why I make videos about purpose, it was because I remember when I turned 30, I basically had, or felt like I had no purpose in my life. I was sort of just existing, working for the sake of working, not really enjoying anything in my life. I felt lost. You know, some people, they find like a passion project or a profession, and that brings them like joy and enthusiasm and happiness. Or maybe even they just work their day job so that they can go home and play some video game that they love. I had nothing that I had nothing like that. There was no hobbies or sports or things that I wanted to do that brought me that level of passion. And it's interesting because it took me like 33 years to find that until I finally like bought a camera and got on into all this like content creation and creative stuff. So, you know, some people find their purpose in life early, and then others it could take you 3 decades, right? It's like a long process. But I remember reading this one quote in Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And he believed that every single human being is born with a purpose, but it's up to you to go out there and find what that is. And if you just like sit around at home doing nothing, being lazy and procrastinating your life away, you'll never find your purpose. Wow, never knew that about that China place. Yeah, Macau is crazy. I knew a lot of professional poker players from Vegas who moved over to China, because the games in Macau were just like off the chain. Because you have to remember, there's so many multi-millionaires in China because of, like, think about their economy and infrastructure and their like sheer number of population, amount of people there. And the games in Las Vegas, for example, like the biggest cash games you would play, they would pale in comparison to the amount of money you could bet in Macau. And everyone I knew that went there, they just said, like, imagine Las Vegas, but multiply it by 10. Like, everything is just 10 times more grand, 10 times more crazy, more expensive, more wild. And it's just the craziest place on the entire earth for gamblers. And so luckily for me, I've never been there because Las Vegas is more than enough stimulation for me. Like, even I consider Vegas a wild place. Like, tons of fun, entertainment, and access devices on every street that you turn. But yeah, Macau is just like next level. I will be honest with you, I don't even know how to play poker. Do you believe me? I honestly don't know how you even play it, and honestly, I don't feel like I need to know. Did horse racing on exchange once risk $6,000 to win 20? What? Going against horses with odds of 200 to 1, 300 to 1 felt like I found the perfect system to win constantly. Guess what? Huge losses. Oh my god, risk 6,000 to win 20. What kind of odds is that? That's like a proposition bet where it's like 99% going to happen. Huh. Yo, that's crazy. I don't know anything about horse racing. I've been to, there's a racetrack just outside of Toronto, and I've been there before because I went to the college that was, this is so funny. We have a casino and a horse racing track like across the street from a college here, which is insane. But so I've been to the horse racing track, but for whatever reason, I never found the appeal. I would look at the board, I'd see the odds for each horse, and I was like, well, what makes, like, how do you know what's what? What horses, like, are some horses faster than others? Like, I don't know anything about it, so I never got into the horse racing at all. But I see all the people, like, cheering and yelling for their rider, or, oh, I know what's funny, those guys on the horses, this is obviously common sense, but I never knew this, but they're like petite, like they're tiny dudes. They're like 110-pound dudes. Because I saw some of them after, and I was like, holy, those guys are like 5'3", like they're tiny. But then if you think about it logically, like you don't want to have a heavy dude riding a horse because it's going to slow the horse down, right? But for whatever reason, I couldn't put two and two together. So I thought that so I found that rather amusing. Sorry for bad English. I was at... Hey, no worries, dude. I can only speak one language, so more power to you. I was at the same stage when I was 16, but I had skills in something which I didn't like much, but was interested in other things. I'm trying my best to find my purpose too. Thank you. I agree, many people know their purpose early, which makes me feel different and retarded. Though when I think I am good at studies, I get low marks and I get demotivated. Thank you. You deserve more subs. Hey, appreciate it, bro. Yeah, it's interesting because you'll see some people that figure out life really quickly and a lot earlier. However, that also comes with drawbacks, right? Like take social media, for example. The amount of content creators that I've talked to that where their channels blew up when they were 16, 18, 19, like, young, they have all this social anxiety and depression from the opinions of others. And so everything comes with drawbacks. Like, sure, it's great. Like, say you found your passion early, you love to make TikTok dance videos and your channel blows up and you make all this money and you have your life figured out. But also you haven't matured as an individual. Your brain hasn't fully developed. You're not a fully formed human being. And so a lot of these young kids, they struggle with their appearance. They struggle with acceptance of others, and they struggle with trolls and hate comments. And it's ruining their mental health. Like, I know a guy with 2 million subscribers, and he's like, I don't know if he's like afraid of posting videos, but whenever he posts a video and he gets negative feedback in the comment section on YouTube, it crushes him. And so everything comes with pros and cons. Whereas me, now that I've sort of figured this all out later in life, I'm much more mature as an adult human being. And I get, my fair share of hateful comments and trolls too, right? But they hardly bother me at all because I'm at a point in my life where the opinions of other people has never really bothered me. I've never really been affected by that at all, because I'm someone who has never tried to conform with society. I never went to college or university like a regular person. I never got a post-secondary education like everyone else. I never got a normal day job like everyone else. Like, everything I did, all my decisions that I made up until this point were just because I thought it was good for me, and I just did what I wanted to do. And I never cared what my friends or family or what society ever thought of me. So I get tons of hateful comments, people disagreeing with the stuff I say, and it's fine. It's no problem because I have reached a point where I have strong enough mental health to not let that type of negativity bleed into my life. And so I can keep going just fine. And the only type of anxiety that, I do get is like today, for example. I'm all tired, low energy, my voice sounds awful. And I'm like, oh man, is everyone even going to want to watch this stream when I'm like struggling and coughing all over the place? But again, you guys, can laugh at me, maybe poke fun at me, leave some comments about how my voice is all nasally or something. It won't bother me in the slightest. You know what I mean? But there might be someone else that's younger, that they're more self-conscious of how they appear to other people because they want to be loved, they want to be accepted so bad, where it might prevent them from doing a live stream or prevent them from taking a risk per se. And so it all goes hand in hand, right? Pros and cons, everything. Whereas now, like for me, for example, I've benefited on that side, but the con is that it's taken me so many years to get to this point. So now I only have so many years left to finally do what I love to do. So in that sense, it is a negative for me because, I've spent so many years almost wasted, right? Or it feels like it's wasted. And again, you have to take it in stride, pros and cons, right? And try to figure out what positive you can take from the situation, and don't let the negative stuff bring you down, and just keep going, because everyone's journey is completely different, right? The way that I get through life or you guys get through life or some super famous TikTok 16-year-old gets through life, they're all on completely different lines that are not parallel. They're abstract, they're asymmetrical, they're diverging in all kinds of different directions. And that's what life is, right? But yeah, more subs, hopefully in time. Actually, you know what's funny? I think yesterday was my best day ever on YouTube. I woke up this morning, felt like absolute ass. And then I went on my analytics. I think I had my best day ever. 8,500 views yesterday. So yesterday was the best day I ever had on YouTube. And I was at the park playing with my kids. Oh man, I feel like death though. It's gonna be a struggle. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Where was I? Free crypto. In the exchange, you can place a lay bet. A lay bet? Go against a horse. You bet on which horse won't finish first. So a horse that is 300 to 1 is extremely unlikely to win, but nonetheless, bad strategy. Just know. It's the opposite of being in a racetrack, having to guess which horse would win. In the exchange, you guess... Oh, whoops. What is this notification? Let me close this. This is annoying. Whoops, hold on. How do I mute this? Mute for 4 hours. Let me see. In the exchange, you guess which horse won't win, but still not worth it. Betting is controlled by bookies everywhere. Yeah, I agree, dude. Thank you, man. It's the first time I'm getting a good feedback from one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you for replying to me. Hope you will grow quick. Hey, no worries, bro. It's this is why also I think streams are important. A lot of YouTube videos, they're sort of like a person hiding behind a script, and they're sort of just like reading this type of script where they meticulously wrote it out, or it's like super polished, right? And the video comes off as amazing. However, when you talk to someone like that over like a podcast or a live stream, you can really see who the person is, because you can't hide, right? You can't fake it. Like, sure, you can fake it in a YouTube video because I can edit everything out as much as I want to, right? But during the live stream or the podcast, there's so many hours of me just sharing my beliefs, free balling off the cuff, off the top of my head, no script, where you see who I am in reality. Like, there is no hiding. There's nothing fake, because I'll over a long enough time frame, I'll be exposed by the sheer number of hours that I've put my thoughts out there. And the best thing about this whole YouTube stuff, it's like, if you can help someone make a positive change in their life, maybe they could find direction, find their purpose, find what their passion is, remove some type of gambling addiction, substance addiction, get motivated to go to the gym or get in better shape. Like, there's so many things that people need in the world. And that's also very motivating for me to keep moving forward, right? To sort of share my struggles, share what I've learned. And it also benefits me too, right? Because when I get these emails and messages from you guys, it gives me like this like nice feeling on the inside. It's super cool, right? When you hear feedback from someone that they really helped you. And it's kind of funny from my point of view, because I have no idea who you guys are. You could be on the complete other side of the earth, and we would have never met on any timeline in real life without the internet. And so it's humbling for me, right? It's really humbling. How long have you been gambling free? Do you believe that a $1, $2 bets don't count towards this period? Do you take it as an extreme, i.e. not betting at all, or one lottery ticket is okay? So I pretty much quit in 2012, but I technically didn't quit until 2013. So it took about a year to, and what I mean is I would take a bus to the casino 7 days a week. I'd go every single day. I'd grab the bus in the morning or afternoon, go up to the casino, or maybe not 7 days, because there'd be some times I'd go with friends and stuff. So maybe we'll say 5 days. 5 days a week I take a bus to the casino, and then also play online. But it wasn't until 2013, a year later, where I sort of like cut everything out. And what I learned about a gambling addiction is that there's all these temporary band-aids people use, like excluding yourself from a casino, banning your account, blocking your credit card from gambling websites, and all these things, right, to prevent you from the actual gambling. But that doesn't change the fact that deep down, you still have a problem manifesting in the form of a gambling addiction. And maybe the next opportunity that comes up, those old feelings or habits are going to come to the surface. And so I sort of tried to make peace with that. And I realized that maybe it's healthier for me if I sort of just live with this addiction that I have. And right now is probably the hardest, because NBA season is starting, and I loved sports betting. I used to love betting on basketball. It was almost as fun as playing poker for me. I loved it. Every night when there'd be like 6, 7, 8 basketball games on, I'd have like massive bets. I bet on the spread, I bet on teams and players and props, and I'd be so into the games. It's so exciting. However, I don't think that feeling deep down is ever going to go away. I'm always going to have that. Let me change this song. It's always going to be with me. And so what I did is I tried to develop this identity of someone that can live with that. So when the Super Bowl happened and all my friends were placing all these bets on the props, I could tell myself, okay, let's bet $5 on one thing, and that's it. So I bet $5 on what the Rihanna song was going to be at halftime, and then that was it. I didn't play the first field goal or the first tackle or the touchdown, whatever. I didn't play any of that stuff. And then if my friends want to play a game of poker or something, I can play for $10. If my brother wants to bet on a basketball game, we can bet like, again, $5, $10 and then be done with it. Whereas before it would escalate. We bet like 50, we bet 100, we bet 500, we bet 1,000. And so I sort of have this identity now where I try to just live with it, but I set these very specific boundaries so that it doesn't get out of hand. Because if I lose, let's say I lose $10, right? Let's say I lose $10. Is that going to change my life? Is that going to prevent me from paying my bills or buying groceries or paying off my mortgage? Like $10, it has no impact to my life. But if I lost $1,000, now that has an impact, because that could be my taxes, that could be a cell phone bill, hydro bill, all these different type of things, right? And so I just try to live my life in a way that is manageable and control it the best way that I can. And also, I've never bought a lottery ticket. I don't think I've ever played like those lottery. I don't think I've ever bought one. Thanks, man. You made me feel better. Hope you'll get more views soon. I will try my best to share with everyone. Hey, Ultrix, thanks, bro. Thanks for the support. I've always had this opinion that, the channel will grow when it's ready. I'm not too concerned about it. I'll get excited over these like minor milestones, like yesterday, most views, whatever, watch time, whatever I get, it's cool. But the subscribers, again, I try to say even keel. When I get a bunch, I try not to get too high. When I don't get any, I try not to get too low. And I just like to just keep moving forward. That's the main objective for me. And I know that a lot of people, they obsess over subscribers and views, but I feel like if you just keep focusing in on the content and you are authentic and you provide value and your videos improve over time, the subs will come. I'm confident they'll come eventually. I think right now I get about 15 to 20 every single day. So the channel is growing. Every day I get about 10, 15, 20 new people. And it's great. It's awesome. Maybe this purpose mentality is wrong. Everyone is brought up believing they need to find a purpose. And as soon as you don't actually have a clear purpose, you are a failure. Kids live so much anxiety believing they absolutely need to be purposeful. People should focus on being happy. Yeah, right. I am from India, by the way. I feel like purpose, the way we see it, is very artificial. Let's say a teacher is considered purposeful because they bring good to kids, but playing the game is a waste of time. But what if it makes you feel better? Isn't that more important? Yeah, I think for me, the happiness is directly linked to purpose. And whenever I've had no purpose, I've never been able to find happiness, because I've always been, maybe it's not just me, maybe there's more people like this, but I'm very like goal oriented. Like every day when I wake up, I want to be I want to be doing something. I want to be trying to get somewhere, right? I want to have like some type of clear objective. The times where I've been the most unhappy is when I wake up with no objective in life, no purpose, and I'm just drifting. I feel like I'm just like drifting around, going with the wind and just landing wherever the wind blows me. And that's when I sort of feel like I have no power or control of my life. It was like going to my job. Like when I was in my 20s, I'm going to work to do what? To just get money to pay bills and stuff. And then what do I do after that? Like the weekend comes and there's like nothing I'm passionate about. Just like play some video games to, waste time. It's like, for me, the happiness comes from having clear purpose and direction. Because now when I wake up in the morning, I'm excited because I have all these things I want to work towards. I have like this business I want to build, this podcast I want to get better at. Maybe I want to improve the way I use my camera, or get better at speaking, or whatever the project is. So like for me, those two things are inevitably linked. And it's the drifting aimlessly through life. That's what gave me the most like anxiety and depression. Because it felt like I was just like wasting my life. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just like, kind of felt like a bum, right? It's like, don't have a degree or an education, don't have a profession, didn't have a job that I enjoyed. There was like kind of like nothing going on. But also like it depends too, because everyone's life is different, because I'm sure there's some people that feel like that don't have a purpose, and that is what brings them the anxiety and happiness. And maybe if they had a life that was more free, where they could just kind of go with the flow and just exist, that is what would make them happy. So I'm sure there's tons of people that live a life completely opposite of mine, because I do know some people that just love to be free and have nothing going on, where they don't want to have any responsibilities, they want to have any goals or targets. They just want to kind of live, enjoy life, and just sort of go with the flow. I have a friend like that from way back in the day. He kind of just like, those like free spirit type people. So I'm sure it depends. Like all things in life, right? It depends. There is no like one size fits all. Happy to share your channel as well on my channel. Not sure how to send messages here, but you would see contact details, etc. if this helps, as your channel is really helping people. Yeah, the YouTube thing is interesting. There's no way to DM people. I guess you could leave like a message in the comment section of someone's video, but most content creators will like message me on Instagram or something. But I do know that in the community tab, you can do that ampersand, the at, and then the YouTube channel name, and then it will sort of highlight it in gray or blue. I can't remember which color it is, but you could at a certain creator or channel, then write them a message, or say like, hey guys, check out this creator, and then put their name. I was on a live stream with them where I found their content useful. I made a post like that, I think it was yesterday. I was on a live stream of this guy, Mr. Anti-Gambler, who was on my podcast. And he wanted me to jump on his live stream. And so I did. We had like a cool conversation about gambling and all this type of stuff. And then in my comments section, in my community tab, I just wrote like a little ampersand at his channel that you could sort of post a link to the video as well. So it's cool. YouTube is adding a lot more features and implementation with this sort of stuff for creators. But yeah, I wish there was like a DM message or something. I'm surprised they don't even have that. Because what if you wanted to, say you wanted to collaborate with a YouTuber, you can't message them directly on YouTube. You have to go to Instagram and then DM them. So doesn't Google want you to stay on YouTube and not go to Instagram, because Instagram is a competitor? Instagram is owned by Meta, right? Facebook. I don't know. The whole thing is messy. Every social media platform has their pros and cons. Free crypto. See, like that. So it's orange. Well, for me, it looks orange. I guess in the stream chat it's different. At Derek, we'll try it. Yeah, so I think when you do that in the community tab, it's very similar. And then when you also do that, you get like a notification. Yo, Martin, what's up, dude? How's the business going, bro? Good to see you. Always love hearing from you. How would that work though? If you got 2 million subs, you're gonna have a gazillion DMs. Yeah, so I'd imagine they would do it the same as notifications. So like for my YouTube channel, I get so many notifications from comments and people replying to my comments, where you can change like the settings to get which notifications you would want to get. So you could have like maybe say if it's like DMs, right? Maybe you could set it to you could filter out the DMs by subscriber count or by channels that are verified or something. Like for my YouTube channel, when you guys leave a comment on my video, I don't see it. I had to disable it because my phone has all these like freaking notifications. So I just like disabled all of it. And what I'll do is every once in a while, I will manually go into the comment section and try my best to go through it and reply to some, because it gets crazy. there's some days where I post a video about psychedelic mushrooms and all these bots come to my channel and they leave all these comments, like all this spam. And then my phone just implodes. It's just like notification, beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This is so crazy. So I had to like remove all that stuff. So I'm sure if like YouTube had like some type of DM option, it would be nuts as well. But you would have to add some type of filtering. I guess would be the only way to do it. Edward T, what's up, bro? Fight your own demons. Stop telling peeps what to do. Sounds like he is talking about his subscriber counts. Fascinating. Yeah, bro. We all got demons, brother. We all got demons. A subscriber count is also interesting too. It's like and I think I'm definitely a victim, maybe not a victim. I'm definitely guilty of this as well in the beginning, where I remember the days where I'd get like 2-3 subscribers in one day, and there's like all this like happiness that you gain. And it's funny because there is this sort of like baseline level of happiness that it keeps going up over time. And so I remember in the very beginning, I get 1 sub and I'd be like super happy. And then gaining 1 sub became my new normal. And so whenever I didn't gain 1 sub, then I would revert to feeling unhappy. And then the bar raised to 5, then it raised to 10. And then now it's at like, I think the bar now is at 15, where in the past, if I got 15 subs in one day, I'd be like, oh, this is amazing. I'd be like so happy. But then now if I get like 11, I'm like, oh man, I didn't reach 15. This is like not quite there. So it's funny how the bar shifts. Oh, Mr. Anti-Gambler, missed you, bro. What's your thoughts on directing a movie? Would you be interested in working on a project, a gambling addiction movie? Okay, so in the past, when I was like super deep into filmmaking, I made short films that I submitted to a film festival. I actually did one last year. What was it titled? The actual video is on my channel. What was it called? Let me see. Just so you guys have a reference. Okay, so it was called Your Life or Your Device, and I posted it 8 months ago. And the thumbnail is a picture of my back sitting at my desk. So that was a short film that I created with all my cinematography knowledge, and I submitted it to a film festival in Toronto. And unfortunately, it didn't get picked, which is fine. And instead, I just uploaded it on my YouTube channel. The thing with making a movie or creating a short film or a documentary is that on my goal list or my bucket list, I always wanted to make some type of documentary and have it on Netflix, because Netflix has these certain cameras that are required to, like, you need a certain level of quality to be able to produce a documentary for Netflix. And so I was sort of like gearing up and ramping up towards that. However, the problem that I ran into along the way is that creating anything like that, like a cinematic sequence, a movie, short film, documentary, anything like that, it's so incredibly time consuming. Like, you really have to devote your life to it. Because not only are you filming, you are also the filmer, you are the color grader, you have to do the sound design, you have to edit the footage, like make sure that the story flows. Like there's so much that goes into that. And so for me, this love that I had for making these more massive videos, these bigger projects, started to fade away because it was just way too time consuming for me. And I felt like it took away from the main goal or message for my channel. So I would definitely love to do another project like that. Like I would love to do it. But the sheer time that is required I don't think I'd be able to do it justice. And if I did, it would be like a half-assed project. I don't want to do. I don't want to do anything half-assed. Like I don't want to make like a feature film or a doc that sucks, right? It's sort of like, what's the point? If I do something, I want to try to do it to the best of my ability, right? So yeah, I don't know. It would have to be. I'd have to be in a place where I have way more free time. Because the problem that I have right now is, even though I'm super efficient with my time because I'm super into productivity and I just have this like super large capacity to work. And it's something that I really enjoy to do. I get after it and I just go and I grind. But we're talking about shooting YouTube videos, editing YouTube videos, live streams, podcast, newsletter, website. Like there's so much going on, where I would have to be in a place where maybe I could hire a couple people to do all this editing stuff for me. And then I could maybe allocate some of my time towards like a bigger project, like a feature film or something like that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It's hard. It's tough, right? Because you can't do everything. That's the problem with being ambitious, right? Like if you want to do too much, if you spread your time too thin across multiple projects, then you end up just doing everything poorly instead of focusing in on a couple things and doing them well. So we'll have to see in the future. How much does one of those cameras cost? Actually, not that much. I think you can buy a Fuji for a couple $1,000s. Before, you needed the red, like those crazy 8K red cameras, but now the mirrorless cameras, like the ones that I have, the higher end models, they can produce quality that's good enough for Netflix. It's super cool. If it takes us 5 years, it is what it is, brother. Let's do this goal. I understand that completely. I have the same issue, all or nothing. Yeah, it's like all things in life, right? And even any other free time that I have left, it goes towards like the other projects that I'm working on slowly behind the scenes. Like I'm writing a book and I'm working on an online course. But like those two things, they're so slow. And even then, the other free time I have, there's like a million books that I want to read. Like there's so many books that I want to get into, I want to read, and it's just, again, like how do you manage your time? Like it's so difficult. Opinions on religion. Ooh. So that's interesting. It's funny because religion and politics are supposed to be the two subjects that is considered taboo in society. Oh, you never give your opinion about religion and you never give your opinion about politics because you never get anywhere. And everyone I know and everyone in society, at least over here in the West, this is like common practice, is to never talk about these things. However, I've never been afraid to talk about religion or politics because I don't have a team. So because I don't have a dog in the race, I don't have a biased opinion towards a particular religion or particular political party. You know, some people, they'll say like, I don't know, they'll say they're super into the Bible or the Quran or whatever religious book, and this is their truth and they'll defend it no matter what. Or maybe they're super political and they'll say things like red till I'm dead or blue no matter who. And they'll draw this line in the sand and protect and defend their stance at all costs, where I don't have any of that. And so religion is super interesting because I'm sort of conflicted, as my parents are two different religions, and then they had me go to Catholic school when I was younger, and so they would like encourage me to go to like Sunday Mass, for example, and like do all those sacraments, but they wouldn't do it as well because they had a different religion. So like very weird. Like imagine living in a house with like 3 different religions. It sort of doesn't make any sense, right? And so I ended up being someone who considers himself, I guess, agnostic is the best way to put it. agnostic, but still spiritual, but maybe still open to all religions. And the thing I dislike about the religious topic is, like the hate that brews from it. Like over here in Canada, there's a lot of people from India and Pakistan here, and there is like this hatred they have because of their opposing religious views, and that that to me sucks, because I've talked to some Pakistani people who are super cool, and I've talked to some Indian people that are also super cool, right? And it's like the barrier there is religion, which is unfortunate, which kind of sucks. However, there is something that I think is beneficial about religion is when you go to like a Sunday mass, or like maybe you go to your temple or your church or whatever, name the religious institution. There is this agreement that everyone is going to show up on this day on time, dress nice, and everyone is going to be friendly with one another. And it's nice. Everyone's happy, everyone's giving and supportive, and you have like this community, and it's like a nice little thing to have, because lots of moments in society, it's like people yelling at each other for a parking spot, people road raging, people getting into arguments in like a Walmart. Like there's so much animosity and negativity in every regular day life that I think it's kind of cool to have like a day of worship or a day of prayer where everyone agrees to just be a good human being, and support your community. I think that's kind of cool. And even though I support that belief, but I don't practice it because I don't have any religious beliefs. Like my mom's family, for example, is Buddhist. And so I tend to lean towards a lot of Buddhist ideologies and principles, which make a lot of sense to me. But also, again, I don't like this idea of, trying to force one type of religion down someone's throat. That's when I think religions kind of suck, right? Like, sometimes you get those people that knock on your door and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to save you. I want you to go to heaven," and they give you like a pamphlet. If you do this, then you'll be saved. And I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. You know what I mean? Those type of conversations, they're kind of tough. But I enjoy talking about the subject openly, because I'm not afraid from pushback or whatever. It's fine. The Boiler Man from Spirited Away. Oh, Spirited Away, the anime. I haven't seen that in a long time. The Boiler Man. What's a Boiler Man? Let me Google, see if my memory can get triggered. Boiler Man, Spirited Away. Oh, that guy with the arms. That guy, Mr. Productivity. It's like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man. He can do everything all at once. Forrest says yes, question mark. I think that the point there was about the super productivity. You need to be the Boiler Man in order to get all these things done at the same time. I agree, brother. It's a beautiful moment in a rough week, and it makes it even better after the end of a good week. Yes, sir, the Boiler Man spirit. Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures. He looks crazy. How many arms does he have? Like 1, 2. Is that 8? Is he supposed to be like a spider? That's funny, Boiler Man. Finally talking about Kamaji. Oh, Kamaji. Kamaji? Is that his name? That's who I'm trying to become. The 6-armed. Oh, he has 6 arms. Oh yeah, he does have. Wait, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. Oh, why did I think 8? Oh, 8 is the other 2 are his legs. Duh. Dumb. What a big dumb I am. Idiot. Of course he has 2 legs. Yes, bro, you gotta watch it, man. It's the best movie on Netflix right now. Yeah, I watched Spirited Away like a long time ago. It's old, right? Like, when did Spirited Away come out? Man, I used to love anime. 2001, so 22 years ago. Wow. You know what's crazy? I remember like way back in the day in high school, I would leave high school. I think it was like at 1:30 I finished class. I have lunch at the like lunch was my last period. So instead of leaving school at 3, I would leave at school at 1:30. And I remember I'd like go to the mall and we'd have to go to like a comic book store to rent anime because that's like the only way you could get it in like 1998. That's how old I am. Me and my friend, we'd go and we'd rent like these VHS tapes of like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. It's so funny. Soul, body, spirit working together to perfect balance. I know it by heart in German. Oh, that's funny. Forrest knows what's up. I can't even remember the last time I watched that. So it's on Netflix right now? I don't have Netflix anymore. All those video services like Netflix, Disney, like all that stuff, I don't think I have any of it. I've unfortunately removed like all movies, video games, and TV shows from my life. I'm sort of like in this phase where kind of like trying to prioritize all the things that are meaningful to me. The only downside is that I've sort of missed out on a bunch of things. Like I've missed out on Marvel movies and some other movies that have come up, but I have a very clear mission and goal of what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, that I can always catch up on movies and TV shows later. So unfortunately, I'm not up to date with a lot of that stuff. Wait, what is this? Wow, YouTube has an insert ad button for streams? What the heck? Oh, that's so cool. It has add a stream marker, create a highlight video, and or insert ad. So I guess I can add things now during the stream. What if I click this? Whoops. Ads inserted. Uh-oh. Whoops. I clicked the I clicked the insert ad button. Did it give you guys an ad? I hope it didn't. I guess it did. Whoops. Okay, I don't want to do that. My bad. You know, it has like these new. I didn't see these. Have these always been here? Create a highlight video. Add stream marker. I guess they've always been here. I've never seen these before. Huh. Bro, blast away. I'm about to, I guess like because when you stream on Twitch, you can add ads, right? Oh, that's hilarious. Because I clicked it, I thought it would have like a pop-up on like what it would ask me or what it would show me to do. That's so funny. Oh yeah, but okay, so what else is going on? So we released podcast the other day, 50. Yo, the podcast it's just so crazy when I look at sort of like how far I've come. The podcast is on 51 and the live stream is on 53. Like I never thought we'd make it this far. Like I thought maybe like the stream would be, you know, every once in a while. I do the podcast when I had free time, but for whatever reason, I've really enjoyed these two types of content, and it was just something that it became like tying my shoes. It was like streaming is just something I do on the weekend. It's a stream day today, so we just do it. And then the podcast is like, oh, someone wants to have a conversation, let's just record the podcast. And I had this mentality of just keep going without any expectations. Now, the videos for the main channel, there's a certain level of expectation I have for them. I put a lot of effort and work into them. I try to think of video topics and titles that are helpful to people, or that may be clickable, or that may be educational or beneficial in some way. And I try to put a lot of time when I can into creating a title or a thumbnail that looks good. And so there's a lot of expectation that I have for the main channel because of the work that I put in. Whereas the live stream and the podcast, there's no expectation. They don't make any money. Well, maybe this live stream will now because I clicked that ad, insert an ad button. Maybe I'll make like 15 cents this stream. But yeah, I just do it sort of for the sake of doing it. And it's something that is just fun and enjoyable. And so I don't see myself ever stopping the podcast or the live stream because it's something I can do where there's like no pressure, right? Like if I'm sick, like today, and I have to do a live stream, I'll just do it. It's like whatever, it's fine because there's no pressure for results. And it's kind of liberating because it gives me freedom, like creative freedom, right? Yo, Cowboy, what's up? Lost another $100 last night sports betting. I think it's time to give up. Oh, come on, bro. Would you bet on basketball? I'm so tempted to bet today because all the best NBA games are today. Lakers play today, Memphis, Clippers, Phoenix, like all the big Western teams. YouTube Derek Chan. Oh, the rat. Oh, come on, Forrest. All grown up. Hashtag proud of you. Year of the rat. Oh, that's me. You guys are never gonna let me live that down, right? Oh, this is funny. See, this is what I mean when I talk about like anxiety of streaming. Like, I'm sure there's some people that would be terrified of saying something like that. And like, but we had a stream, I can't remember what it was. And we were talking about like zodiac signs or horoscopes. We were talking about something. And then, or was it the Chinese signs? Anyways, we were talking about that type of stuff. And it came up that for my birthday, I'm a Scorpio, where I was born in the year of the rat. And then everyone in the comment section of the stream was just like shitting on me. And it was so funny. Like all the rat emojis and mouse emojis were coming out. And it was a good time because I actually enjoy self-deprecating humor. And I'm someone that does like, I do so much stupid stuff all the time. Like I'm always like falling or doing something embarrassing or just being dumb, right? But it always makes me laugh. I don't know why. I have no problem laughing at myself, right? But I know that some people would be mortified of that, of looking stupid in front of other people, right? Of being embarrassed. And that's where I think the mental health, anxiety stuff about being a content creator, it has so much less effect on me because I have this personality where I can take the jokes, I can have fun with it. It actually brings a smile to my face, right? And it is playful, right? But also you have to remember that there's a lot of people, especially now, that are like extremely, extremely sensitive, where if you disagree with them or if you say something they don't like, they just like implode emotionally. And so like during this stream, like I love talking with Forrest, for example, because we can go back and forth, we can make jokes, you guys can make fun of me, and we can have a great time, and it's awesome. Or like when Martin comes by, I love talking to Martin because he always challenges my ideas. And I have a lot of respect for Martin because he is someone that will disagree with me. You know, there's a lot of people around me that are kind of just like yes men type of thing. They just always agree. They just always say yes. Oh, that's fine. But I think it's also good to have people that will challenge your ideas, right? And ask you questions and ask you about difficult subjects. And like, what's your opinion on this? Or what do you think about that? And I think it's good to have like a well balanced mindset when it comes to the world, because then you can overcome the negative stuff. And like, this is something that, you know, I really worked on. And it took me like a long time to kind of get to this point. But then, you know, it's a lot of fun, right? Like we can be playful during the stream, and you know, I love it. Just me? Okay, I'll stop. Don't stop now, Forrest. The Rat King? Wait, what are my kids? Okay, I'll look that up in a sec. UFC, see my very first bet ever. I bet $2 and won 1,400. Yo, that's 700 to 1. That level of excitement was nice. Wow, was that a parlay? How did you turn a $2 bet into 1,400? That must have been like crazy odds. See, that's a trap too with sports betting or gambling. It's when you beat those crazy mathematical odds, and that one time you like hit it big, it gives you this false sense of hope that you can recreate it and that you somehow beat the matrix and you've overcome the algorithm, or you've overcome mathematical odds and probability, and that you can recreate that outcome. That's when it gets tough, because I've seen stuff like that too. I think I posted a video recently talking about bad beat jackpots. It was one of those gambling addiction stories videos. And I talked about how I saw this lady, she won this crazy, I think it was like, I can't remember how much it was, $40,000, $50,000 jackpot, because she had 4 of a kind aces, which lost to a straight flush. Like, the odds of that happening is like tiny. It's so small. And it just happened to hit that one time for her, and she won a bunch of money. But that could also be a huge trap, right? Because now you think that, oh, maybe you can do it again. And that's when they suck you in. So today I drank, you guys know The Rock? Can I show this? The advertisement. I bought some of these Zoa Warrior energy drinks from The Rock. Like, this is his brand of energy drinks. They had a case of them at Costco. So I bought a case. I had like 3 flavors. I think that's my, if you want to talk about, maybe not addictions, but what are some negative things in my life, or what's a better way to put it? Like, what are some detrimental habits I have? It's definitely overuse of caffeine. Is probably one that I use to a detriment. I'm someone who I love coffee. I love green tea. I love pre-workout before the gym. I love energy drinks before a podcast or a live stream. I'm like a caffeine fiend, I guess you would say. So that's probably, if you want to get like open and honest, that's probably some of my poor habits when it comes to consuming food or drinks. Like, the alcohol stuff is no problem. I hardly drink ever. Smoking, don't think I've ever smoked a cigarette in my life. Yeah, I've never even tried smoking a cigarette ever. Mushrooms, we all know about that. Hard drugs, never tried any of like the crazy hard drugs like meth, heroin, crack, any of that type of stuff. However, my one substance that I definitely do abuse has to be caffeine. And so if we want to talk about self-improvement, about some of the things that I could definitely improve in my life, it would be lowering caffeine consumption would 100% be beneficial for me. It was a 6-fight wow, 6-fight parlay. Dude, that's wild. Mostly underdogs and maybe 1 or 2 favorites. Yo, that's crazy. No wonder a $2 bet paid $1,400. That's insane. That's like, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, what do you call it? The NCAA. March Madness, though, like if you look at the March Madness betting, that is like wild. Like think of like the odds that you have to beat in order to pick every single correct bracket, right? In March Madness, like that's what it reminds me of. See, again, it's sports betting. It's basketball season right now. It's prime basketball season for betting. In what, 2.5 hours from now, the Lakers and Memphis are going to play, and you know all the bets are going to be flying. I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of messages from my brother, my friends, you know, people that are placing bets, and then there's going to be temptation there, right? I'm going to be tempted to wager something. So it's tough. It's tough. I can see why it's so hard for some people to fight the temptation. Just trust me, I 100% agree. I 100% understand, because I am not someone who has mastered or overcome gambling addiction. It's something that I sort of just live with and manage. It's the best way that I can like live my life. I seen you drinking that Monster Java, bro. Those will wreck your system. Yeah, the Java ones are rough because those have sugar and massive amounts of calories. Those are like a treat for me. Yeah, the whole energy drink thing and caffeine, it's sort of like from working out. It's like a habit that I got from working out. Yeah, it's like, you know, definitely one that I can improve for sure. But we all have our vices in one way or another, right? When the NFL starts up, I may dabble in it. You can simply pick a player to score a touchdown. Bet $25 for the Bengals running back to score, and it'll turn it to 137. Yikes. Yeah, NFL is another rough one. Like, betting in NFL is crazy. Like, I've never seen so many wild prop bets in any sport like the NFL. The NFL has like wacky amount of things you can bet on, especially for the Super Bowl. Like even like betting on the coin toss. Like what? It's like the most boring thing to bet on. But I'm fortunate because I'm not big into the NFL. I watch a Super Bowl and like that's about it. I'm not really a football guy. It's tough because I have a lot of friends that they do those NFL pools. You know, when you like, I think you draft a team, and I have a bunch of friends that have like these big gambling pools that they do. All like that lasts all throughout the season. Like there's tons of this stuff around me, but I've never had a love or affinity for football, so I've been okay to always just pass on those. For me, it's always the basketball, playoff pools, regular season pools, betting the money line. Like that has always been the toughest for me. That's always the hardest. Same here, bro. That's why it's addicting. I gotta cut back though, because losing feels a lot worse than winning feeling good. Oh, that's an interesting point. So losing, the terrible feeling you get from losing is way worse than the beneficial feeling you get from winning. Losing hurts so bad that it's not even worth trying to get the rush of feeling good from winning. That's interesting. I did a pool for a few things, but never really paid off. What's up, brother of anti-gambling? Yeah, Mr. Anti-Gambler, he's the... I don't know, he's like the, I don't know, he's like the, 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 he's Like if you want to follow a YouTuber whose content is more centered around the whole gambling addiction stuff, definitely check his channel out. As mine is more about self-improvement, and the anti-gambling stuff is just done by proxy. It's sort of a tangent of the self-improvement world, which is why I don't create content around gambling all the time. I will make a gambling video here or there, but yeah, if you guys are looking for more content specifically just centered around gambling addiction, go check out Mr. Anti-Gambler's channel. We did a live stream a couple days ago, and it was super cool. I gotta change this song. Too much violin, bro. Dennis OG. Thank you for the shout out, brother. Yeah, anytime, dude. See, also like the podcast, the one of the first reasons why I created my podcast is because I wanted to do something that was selfless. Because most YouTubers, we're all selfish, right? We all want attention, we all want views, we all want subscribers. All this stuff is always me, 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 me. Look at me, look at me. Click my video, right? It's very selfish. And so I wanted to create a platform where the intention was selflessness. And so for the podcast, I started off by trying to find other YouTubers, and I wanted to promote their work. I wanted to ask them questions like, how is your YouTube journey going? How did you get into YouTube? Why did you create a channel? How is it going now? Like, what are some of the obstacles that you face and overcome? And so the podcast was created from a place of selflessness. And it's good because it's not always about me. It's more about my guests that I have on. And I like that. It adds like balance to my life. And it really gives me perspective. And I definitely want to keep that going moving forward. It will be a huge goal for me for sure, with the aim and the intent of the podcast is to just continually bring people on. And I know I struggle with this. I struggle making the episodes not about me, because sometimes I sabotage the conversation because I have this ego where I feel like my opinion on a certain subject matters and I want to voice my opinion, when it would be more beneficial for the listener if I also took the role of a listener and allowed my guests to speak more, and I listened and I shut my mouth more often. And so that is one of the skills that I'm actively trying to work on, is to drop my ego during a podcast and let my guests speak more and try to be a better listener. And then those are like the goals that I have for my podcast. Continue this identity of selflessness, try to promote other creators, have them share their story, have them promote their channel the best that I can, and maybe I can learn something by being a better listener. And that gives me a lot of balance to my life, right? Because the main YouTube channel, it's all about me, right? What is my opinion on this? What is my experience on this? What is my story? Like, what do I know about this subject? It's all like me, 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 me. And at the end of the day, I don't like that. I don't like everything always just being about me, right? Well, this song is wild. What is up with this? Let me change this playlist. I was listening to some modern classical. Let's get back to some piano. I love listening to piano. But yeah, so anyone that would like to know, whenever I write or read, I always listen to classical music. I have a love specifically for piano because I played the piano for years and years and years. I think I got up to the seventh grade of examinations. I think you needed to finish grade 8 or 9 to be able to teach. So I went pretty far with it. My piano's gone. We sold it when I moved out of my parents' house, and I moved like 3 or 4 more times after that. So I've been moving a lot recently. But I was thinking about getting back into piano, maybe teach one of my kids how to play. And I also had this dream where I'm good enough to where I can compose my own music. So I would love to maybe compose a song on piano that I could use for the background music of one of my videos. Because right now I pay for Epidemic Sound. It's like a subscription that I have for music, and it allows me to play all these songs royalty free during the live stream and on my YouTube video. So I pay for music. It's like a monthly subscription. But I'd love to maybe one day buy an electric piano, get back into it, and compose a song for a video that's meaningful to me. So that would definitely be something that I'd like to do in the future. Yeah, so random fact, if you didn't know that about me. Very musically inclined. H brother, what's up, H brother? You helped me with my gambling addiction. Thank you. Hey, that's great to hear. See, this is what's cool about the gambling addiction stuff. I get so much feedback from the community. And it's like, it's strange because whenever you talk about sobriety or staying away from alcohol, there's like a massive, massive community centered around like Alcoholics Anonymous and sobriety and staying away from alcohol. But when you get into like gambling addiction, it's like the need is there's still like a ton of people struggling, but it seems like the community is a lot smaller, or there's not many YouTubers, there's not many YouTube channels talking about the issues of gambling addiction. So it's a very interesting contrast when you see how many videos there are about beer and alcohol and how few channels and videos there are about gambling. But glad to hear, H brother, that you're getting some type of benefit from the videos, because that's like what we're trying to do at the end of the day, right? Trying to help someone who is struggling with something that we can help with. Mr. Anti-Gambler, yes, relax. B for go sleep working this night? Huh? I guess you're gonna go to sleep because you're working tonight? Do you work out mainly at home? I hate crowds and do a lot of bodyweight exercises. So preferably I love going to the gym. Right now I don't have a gym membership as I moved recently. I do have a home gym that I sort of I have in my garage. So I have an adjustable bench, so I can do flat, incline, and I guess right side up, like as if you're sitting. And I have adjustable dumbbells from 10 all the way to 90, and I have a whole bunch of like home workout equipment, pull-up bar. I used to have a dip stand, but I sold it because I didn't want to move with a dip stand. So I have a lot of equipment to work out at home. But I definitely feel like the gym is way more productive, because whenever I work out at home, there's always like this distraction, like, I could just go do this, or maybe I have to go do that, or there's like always something comes up. But when you physically drive to the gym, you're there, and there's no like stepping out the door to go into your kitchen. You know what I mean? So like once you're at the gym, and you got to get after it. And so I feel like the intensity of my workouts and the way that I push myself at the gym is way better than at home. There is like this laziness to my workouts that I do at home. They're not as hard. And so definitely have lost gains. I'm sure my PRs on my big lifts have dropped substantially since I don't have a barbell. I only have dumbbells at home. Sorry for my English, Derek. I'm talking French. I'm from Quebec, Canada, but understand English, but I'm not very good to talk. Hey, no worries, Dennis. At least you know two languages, bro. I only know one. So I always have respect for people that are bilingual or trilingual. It's it's good, man. It's good. But don't worry for the English, bro. Don't worry. Gotta listen to that coffee shop jazz type of music. Very calming to me. It's Mr. Anti-Gamblers make de... Who? Not sure what that word is. To historique. Help me so much. Wait. Mr. Anti-Gambler, you speak French, right, bro? When you search gambling addiction, your short videos pop up first. That's how I found you as well. Oh, really? So if you search for gambling addiction, my YouTube shorts come up? Let's see. Let's see what comes up for me, because I've never tried this. Gambling addiction. Oh, no shorts come up for me. It's all like regular videos. Oh, wait. Oh, here. Oh, yeah, it is. So there's the first 4 shorts for that I see. 2 of them are mine. But it's funny. One has... I have a short with 33,000 views. Really? So I have a short... I have so many shorts, I don't even know what I've made. So I have a short that says, how do I quit my gambling addiction? It has 33,000 views. And the other video is, gambling addiction is scary, 2,000 views. And the other 2 shorts there has 1 million. Oh my god, this guy has 1 million views on a short. Crazy. Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. So if you type in gambling addiction, my YouTube short comes up. Huh. I wonder, is that because... See, this is the thing. Is there not enough people talking about the subject to the point where there's like no shorts about gambling addiction, so mine just like happens to show up first? That's interesting. I wonder if there's like what's that old saying in business? What's that business 101 saying? It's supply versus demand. Maybe the supply for gambling addiction in the form of content is so low, but the demand exceeds it. Like maybe that's what's going on. You need to have at least 33,000 subscribers. More people make money about how to gamble rather than recover from it, I think. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've seen videos of like people talking about how to make money playing poker, how to make money betting on this, how to make money doing that. Actually, yeah, I think that is definitely way more popular and prevalent for the gambling term. You know what's sad about that too, though? Because it's a video about making money and gambling, the ads that people probably get from AdSense is crazy. Because whenever I make a video about making money in something, the amount of AdSense you get from it is wild. It's so much higher than anything else. And it's funny how Google ads are like that. If you talk about a certain subject that has a lot of money in it, then the ads generally pay really well. Whereas if I talk about a video like, let's say, minimalism or intermittent fasting, right? I'm talking about saving money, don't buy anything, don't fall into the materialistic trap, save your money, don't spend anything. And what is intermittent fasting? It's not eating any food. So you're not buying anything, you're not spending anything. The ads that play on those videos pay so poorly because there's no money in those topics, right? Whereas if you're a channel talking about how to make money or personal finance or stocks or crypto or whatever, investments, like the ads that pay, they're so financially lucrative. It's obscene. But it's a tough trap to fall into too, right? Because then, should I make content just because it's going to make money or pay well? I don't want to do that. It's crazy in French. We don't have live people make live videos to talk of gambling addiction. Yeah, see, that's also probably another hole in the market, right? Like, is there a lot of people doing live streams talking about a subject like this? Because you know what's hard about making... Okay, this is what's really tough. Like, say you have a live stream, right? And you talk about gambling addiction. Like, say I talk about my problem, the problems that I have with gambling. People don't want to admit that because you look like a loser, right? Like think about that. Say I do a live stream and I'm talking about gambling addiction, the way I've struggled, how much money I lost in roulette, how I used to go to the casino all the time, how I'm addicted to poker, and how I love betting on basketball. People are going to look at Derek as if he's a loser, as if he's ruined his life. Oh, look at him, he's an addict. right? He's a detriment to society. He messed up. And so a lot of people, I think they don't want to share their experience of gambling addiction because of how other people will perceive them. Like imagine what your friends and family will think of you if they find out you're like a gambling addict. They're probably going to look at you in a negative light, right? But for me, I just don't care. I don't care what other people think of me. I don't care if people think I'm stupid. I don't care if people think I'm a loser or if I sound dumb or say ridiculous things. It's fine. It's honestly fine. And so maybe that's a hole that guys like me or Mr. Anti-Gambler could fill, right? Like people talking about this kind of stuff. And hopefully if it helps someone out there, right, it's a win for all of us. The damn ads I get after searching gambling addiction this morning was all FanDuel or DraftKings. Oh my gosh. I used to play FanDuel a little bit, but I loved DraftKings. I love DraftKings. I remember when I first played DraftKings, I deposited. What did I deposit? I think I deposited like $200 or something like that. And there was like a deposit bonus matching up to $200, and I played. And I remember I came like second or third in some like big basketball tournament, and I won like $3,000 or something like that. So I instantly 15x my bankroll like right away. And I think that's what got me really hooked into sports betting, because I'm like, oh, I know basketball, I know strategy, I know what I'm doing. And you get this like false sense of who you are as a person. And so that's why I love just betting on basketball in general. It's so much fun. And it's still fun to this day. Like games are going to start in 2 hours and I'm going to be so tempted. Right? I'm going to be tempted. I want to bet on LeBron and the Lakers. So I don't know. But I won't. Excuse me. Will you ever make a video about the aesthetics of food? Oh man. So I would need my dad to do that. That would be an interesting video to make, the aesthetics of food. Man, the things that, if I could get my dad on camera, the things that he could show you guys when it comes to food and aesthetics would be crazy. It would be so cool, because my father, he's retired now, but he was a chef by trade, by profession. And he's also someone who is very artsy and creative. He paints. This painting right here, my dad painted it, and he took a picture of it too. So he's a photographer and a painter, like super creative dude. And this is where I get all my creativity from. And it's from him. And man, the food that he makes is like, it's not just the taste, like the presentation on the plate. It's like, that's a chef's form of art. It's like, that's sort of like artistic flair. It's like, it's not just the taste of the food, it's like how you plate it, how it looks, like the colors. It's just like, it's a wonderful art form. But I don't think he'd ever let me fully record him and put a video about him, because I did sneak one video about his color blindness. And so I made a video about my dad, about buying him colorblind sunglasses for Father's Day, and I recorded the whole thing. And then it kind of caught him off guard because he didn't know I was going to do it. But a food video, there would have to be like preparation beforehand. I wouldn't be able to just like kind of catch him in the moment. I could maybe get some B-roll clips of him cooking stuff, but I don't know. That'd be cool. If you fight the urge, I will too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no to gambling today. You have to make a movie with your history, you and Mr. Anti-Gambler. Yeah, that would be cool. But again, like making like a big project like that, it's the time constraints, right? That's what's hard. That's like the most difficult thing. So, all right. Ugh. That was a pretty good stream. I still feel like death. I'm like so stuffed up and congested. I think I'm going to end this stream soon. We did a pretty good 2 hours. Fight your demons, man. Fight your demons. Fight your gambling addiction. Fight procrastination. And fight like weakness. Like I could have had all the excuses in the world to not do this stream. But now I feel good that, you know, I overcame the negative thoughts in my mind. You know, just do it. Just do the stream. You'll feel better. You'll get through it. No one's going to care about your nasally voice. Who cares? Like, who cares if people laugh at you? Whatever. Just do it, right? And now, you know, we made it through the stream. We had a great conversation. And I feel great about the rest of the day. So I'm going to, what am I going to do today? Probably watch some basketball, maybe go to the park with the kids and have some lunch. And then we'll prepare for next week's content. So yeah, thanks guys for coming to the stream. I really appreciate it. Because without you guys in the chat, then it's just me rambling on by myself, looking like a loser, which is okay. So Cowboy, Dennis, Forrest, as always, thanks for coming by. Mr. Anti-Gambler, H-Brother, and everyone else who joined the stream today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay away from all those negative temptations. And we'll see you in the next stream. We'll probably do it, let's say, next Saturday or Sunday, the 22nd or 23rd. So yeah. Have a great day, guys. Oh, that was fun. Bye.